Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see very important articles that appeared in our today's newspaper. So let's get started with our discussion. First I'll let you know important topics of the day. Before getting started, I want to make a small announcement. We started recently anthropology batch in our academy. And if you want to take admission for online or offline, so please do contact us guys. And admissions are open for this week. And if you want to join for the next batch, we are going to start this next batch only in the next year guys. Don't miss this opportunity and please do contact us. Okay, now let us see the topics of the day. The first one is over 100 people killed as powerful earthquake strikes West Colombia. This article is talking about earthquake in Colombia, and this topic is very important from your GS paper 1 under geography. Our next topic is India donates 5 peacocks to Geneva's United Nations office. This article is talking about peacocks. And this topic is important from IR and as well as environment and ecology from GS paper 3. Next topic is unemployment rate increases in April-June quarter, says survey. Recently PLFS, that is Periodic Labour Force Survey, had been released and it says about unemployment rate in our country. And this topic is important from your economy from GS paper 3. Our next topic is tracking nursing. A fully updated live nurse portal will be of immense benefit to the nation. This article is talking about nurse portal. Actually, this article is saying that there is very less registrations in the central nurse portal. And we have to see what is the impact of it, consequences and what can be done. This topic is important from governance point of view from GS paper 2. And next topic is Russia's share in India's oil imports jumped to 48%. This article is talking about India's oil imports. And this topic is important from economy and as well as from IR from GS paper 2. Now read this title guys. Over 100 people killed as powerful earthquake strikes West Colombia. What is the keyword? Earthquake. So where exactly we'll study about this earthquake? In GS paper 1 in geography, you have this chapter of earthquake. In world geography, you have 4 components. First one is geomorphology, next one is oceanography, climatology and as well as biogeography. Geomorphology is nothing but about the structures which are present on the earth's surface, like how this mountains formed, how this plateaus formed, how these plains formed and why these different deserts are seen in different areas, etc. In this oceanography, you will study about ocean features, waves, tides, salinity of water, temperature of water and ocean currents. You will see this. In climatology, you will study about how these winds will move, what is normal lapse rate, why in some areas we have good rainfall, why in some areas there is no rainfall. It is about entirely the climate phenomena you will study in this climatology. In this biogeography, you will study what is the relationship between human and geography. For example, in some areas we can see like more concentration of population, in some areas less concentration of population. Because of that geography, it will be influencing the humans. Some will be like fishing community, some will be like forest dwellers, some will be like industrial people, some will be focusing on agriculture. So which area, which kind of economic activities of humans, we can see that comes under biogeography. In your geomorphology, you will study about earthquakes, volcanoes, plateaus, mountains, plains, everything guys. So in your world geography, in geomorphology, you will come across this topic of earthquake. And this is one of the favorite area and many a times UPSC asks this question from geography point of view. And this topic is also there in your disaster management, which comes under GS paper 3. So what is this disaster management? If there is any sudden earthquake, because of that the collapsing of infrastructure can happen and people will be stuck in that debris. Because of that what happened? Loss of life will happen, right? And even loss of property will happen, and that is called as a disaster. And you know, as a district collector, you will be the head of district disaster management authority. That means you need to take lot of steps related to prevention and during disaster and even after disaster, right? So because of this, you need to know about what are the steps to be taken, ongoing disaster, or during this disaster, which kind of relief, rescue operations after once earthquake is done, completed, then again rehabilitation, reconstruction, how you have to take care of. All these things you will be studying in your disaster management. So exactly what you have to know about this earthquake is, what is an earthquake first of all? What are the different types of earthquakes? And what are the different causes of earthquakes? What are the impacts of earthquakes? And next, in the world you have to see where are the seismic zones, like where frequently we can see these earthquakes. And in India also have to see in which areas we can see earthquakes frequently. And next you have to see like what is a disaster preparedness. If there is any earthquake, how you have to go for relief and rescue, how you have to improve awareness to the people about this earthquakes to minimize the loss of life. All these are the areas that you have to focus from your examination point of view. Is that clear? So now what is earthquake? Earthquake is nothing but, it is a sudden intense tremors. What happened? It is nothing but the shaking of earth. Whenever the shaking of earth happens, the huge amount of energy will be released in the form of waves. Those waves are called as seismic waves. And how many types of seismic waves we have? Two types. One is surface waves and next one is body waves. In this body waves we have again two types. One is primary wave, secondary wave. It is also called as P wave, S wave. And on the surface wave we have two types. Love wave, Rayleigh wave. That is L wave or R wave. So what happens is, let us consider this as earth. At some point, what happened? This is the trigger point of this earthquake. Okay, if the earthquake started here, shaking of earth here, then what happened inside this earth? These waves will go in different direction. That means inside the earth which happens. Those are called as body waves. And after once this wave reaches this surface, from here it will move on the different directions on the surface of the earth. Those are called as surface waves. So why it is called as P or S wave? So we will use one instrument to measure this earthquake, seismometer. So in that meter, this primary waves are identified first. Those are called as P waves. And after this P waves, we will find this S wave. It is called as secondary wave. And on the surface, we will see this L wave or R wave. And these are the surface waves which are most devastating forces. So here, because of the surface waves, what happened? The building will collapse. It is not because of this body waves, it is because of the surface waves. The constructions, houses, buildings which are there on this earth surface will be collapsed. It is one PVQ actually. Okay. Yes. Now let us see here what will be the impact. So earthquake will cause significant loss of life. Why the significant loss of life? Because what are the building is there? Normally we will live inside our homes or buildings, right? Apartments, whatever it may be. Suddenly if it collapses, what happens? These are the structures which are made up of concrete, cement, steel, iron, and we have lots of infrastructure in our homes. If they fall suddenly, if this fan come and fall on your head, what happens? Obviously you will be getting injury. Because of that collapsing of that entire infrastructure, that will lead to the succumb of humans in this debris. That will lead to loss of life. Okay. And next one is damage for infrastructure will happen, and socio-economic impact we'll see, right? And what are the different types? We have tectonic earthquakes. Tectonic means nothing but it is related to plates. Earth have different layers. What are the different layers of earth? If you cut that earth vertically, we have crust, mantle, core. So crust part and upper part of mantle will form plates. They are called as lithosphere. And this lithosphere will be moving. These plates are not constant. They will be moving on. So whenever they will move, we have how many types of plate movements? Three types. Convergent plate movements, divergent plate movements, and transform plate movements. Convergent means they are moving towards each other. Divergent means moving away from each other. Transform means sliding one over the other. So because of this movements, what happened? It may cause earthquake. Such kind of earthquakes are called as tectonic earthquakes. Clear? And next one is volcanic earthquakes. Volcanic means nothing but volcanoes. they'll burst. Whenever they'll burst, intense amount of heat energy will be releasing from inside the earth to outside. Have you seen the burst of volcanoes? Normally in many videos in YouTube reels you can see. So because of that, what happened? There may be release of energy in the fault areas that will leads to earthquake. Those are called as volcanic earthquakes. Then collapse earthquake means nothing but whenever we are going for mining, we'll go for blasting dynamites. You observed this dynamites and we'll go for digging of earth and we'll keep one bomb and that will be blasting, right? So that is called as collapse earthquake. And explosion earthquake is nothing but we are going to check some nuclear weapons whether they are working or not. So if you're going for that kind of testing of nuclear weapons, that is causes explosion earthquake. And next one is reservoir induced earthquake. If you're constructing a dam over the river and we are storing the water, because of this what happened? Water will be exerting pressure on the earth's surface. Because of that what happened? Earth will be releasing that stress in the form of energy. That will leads to reservoir induced earthquake. In that kind of incidents what happened? Entirely the break of that entire the dam can happen. That will leads to what? Floods. Okay, so these are the causes. And what are the effects? The first one is destruction of infrastructure will happen. Destruction of buildings, surfaces on the earth, that will lead to casualties. And next one is secondary hazards. Like normally our home is well furnished and well equipped with electricity, everything. So because of that collapse, sometimes what happens? Secondary hazards like short circuits can happen, that will lead to fire. And sometimes we'll be having gas cylinder burst can happen. And next one is tsunamis. If the earthquake happens inside the water, that will cause a tsunami. The best example is 2004 tsunami which hit India. And next one here is because of this earthquakes, if it happens on this mountainous regions or hill regions, obviously it may cause what? Landslides. And obviously it will be having impact on humans mentally, physically. It can cause trauma. So these are the major impacts of earthquake. And if you see across the world, we have certain areas where we can see these earthquakes frequently. First one is Pacific Ring of Fire. What is Pacific Ring of Fire? Any idea? Here we have Pacific Ocean. Pacific Ocean is the biggest ocean, right? And around this we have different plates. And here we have convergent plate boundaries around this Pacific Ocean. Because of this, whenever we have this convergent plate movements, obviously we can see formation of volcanoes and as well as earthquake prone zone. So frequently around this Pacific Ocean, we can see this volcanic eruptions and as well as earthquakes. So this region is called as Pacific Ring of Fire. Okay, it is around this Pacific Ocean. That's it. Nothing more than that. And this one is we have Alpine belt. That is nothing but Himalayas. Himalayas are formed by convergence of plate movements, right? Indian plate moved towards northwards. It hit this Eurasian plate and we have Tethys Sea in between. What are the sediments are there? They had been lifted up because of this movement of this plates. So even we can see the same kind of things around this Mediterranean region. So around this Himalayan region and Mediterranean region also, we can see this kind of earthquakes. And next one is in Atlantic Ocean. We have divergent plate. Because of this divergent plate movements also, magma will be coming outside and will be forming mountains. Inside this Atlantic Ocean, we have a line of mountain range that is called as Mid-Atlantic Ridge. In this Mid-Atlantic Ridge area also, we can see the formation of this earthquakes. Okay, so these are the three major areas in the world where we can see frequent earthquake, and this is also one PYQ in your prelims. And next one here is in India, how many zones are there related to earthquake? Earlier we used to have 5, but now we have 4 zones. Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 4 and Zone 5. Which zone is more vulnerable to earthquake? Zone 5 is more vulnerable. Where we can see this Zone 5? Across this Himalayan belt and even at this Kutch, Gujarat region. Gujarat also will have earthquakes frequently. Okay, and Zone 2 is like less earthquake prone region. Where we have less earthquake prone region? Peninsula region is somewhat stable compared to the other parts. But recently also we had earthquake in Hyderabad. Do you know? I think many of you were there in your hostel time. It is around morning or evening. Many of them had recorded how this door, especially we'll be having that handle of door, no, that is ting 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 ting, it is vibrating like anything. No idea. I think 3 to 4 months ago, I guess. Okay, but it is like comes under zone 2. Okay, say this next article, guys. Very good image. So here this is image of peacock. Yes. Do you know the difference between peacock and peahen? Which is male and which is female? Peacock is male, peahen is female. And which will have long feathers? Female or male? Female. Male. Male. Okay, male will have long feathers, not female. Why male will have long feathers? What is the reason? Uh, to attract female. So actually, normally now what we humans will do, if you want to attract anyone, we will try to showcase everything like bringing new bike or spending money or way of dressing, like friendship, everything. You watch many movies, right? And you also might use many tricks to attract someone, I guess, in your college. And I don't want to ask who did what. Okay, so in the same way, here in animals also they have to do some tricks to attract their females. So for that reason, here peacocks, males, they will be having a big tail, and the tail will be used for dancing. Do you know this peacock dance? Why this peacock will dance is to attract the female. Okay, early morning time, if you are from agriculture background, early morning from 5:30 to 6:30 or 7 or 7:30, at that time, if you go to this agriculture fields, we can see the group of females will be there. Females will not have like big tails, they will be having short tails, and one male will be there and it will be dancing like anything and will try to attract female. Normally in the morning times and evening times, we can see that kind of dance. Why peacock dances? To attract the female. Okay, so at least you need to know those kind of things. UPSC can ask that. Don't say female is having tail. No, it is male. The reason is to attract the female. Okay, if you see this article is saying that India donates 5 peacocks to Geneva's United Nations office. So you know India's national bird is peacock. Killing peacock is accepted in our country, or eating peacock? For sure, no. Even do you know, after consuming of peacock for 6 months, we can identify the remnants of peacock in your blood. If they draw the blood and if they do the test, we can see whether you consume the peacock or not. For 6 months, guys. For 6 months, we can identify. And peacock is our national bird. So because of this, there is no provision of killing of peacock or consuming of peacock. It is strictly restricted. And even it is a punishable offense. Yes or no? Do you know this? It is a punishable offense. Okay. Now, Indian government itself gave 5 peacocks to United Nations because we have to showcase something. For that reason only, no, we will be giving our national bird as a gift to United Nations. So here you have to see symbol of what is the symbol. Why India gave this 5 peacocks? We have to know. And next thing we have to know is that the first time or earlier India did this or not? We have to know about it. And one more thing that you have to remember is normally peacock is seen in on the earth's surface or like on the high altitudes we can see this peacock. Normally at the low altitude level only we can see this peacock. But recently one current affairs related to peacock is it had been sighted in Himachal Pradesh at a very high altitude. So because of that, that is in news in 2026. That is the one news. And next one is India donated 5 peacocks to United Nations. And if you see the PYQs of UPSC, every year UPSC will be giving questions on this species of animal. So this time there is a chance of getting question on peacock because it is not a small thing to donate 5 peacocks to United Nations. And even for the first time we find this peacock in high altitude region. That means there is a changing of nature of habitat of peacock. Yes. So because of these 2 reasons, we can expect and keep star mark for this peacock. So here this article is saying that India donated 5 young peacocks to this United Nations office which is located at Geneva. And in that 5 peacocks, there are 4 blue peacocks and 1 is white peacock. Have you seen this white peacock? In zoo only naturally we can see that. Outside it is very rare. Okay, so reasons why India gave this peacocks is, the first one is it is a decades old tradition of giving peacocks. During this Indira Gandhi time, she gave a pair of peacock. A pair means 2 peacocks were given. And now we gave 5 peacocks. It highlights our country's rich natural heritage and even culture ethos. That is the one reason. And this one is peacock is having different colors. Different colors. What are the normal colors seen in the peacock? Yellow, blue, rama green, green, different colors, right? So because of that colors, we can see that peacock as a symbol of grace, like the way it dances, the way it walks, and the way it runs, the way it flies at the low altitude. Everything showcase the grace. Have you ever seen whenever a woman, she is dancing, classical dancer means in between if they want to change that, they will change in, they will include the peacock images. Have you seen how this peacock is dancing? And they'll compare with the dance of a peacock because of grace they show. Grace means what? Grace ante enti? Vibe ante vibe. Next ఏది చెప్పండి, యాక్షన్ కాదు. ఎలిగెన్స్, యా ఇట్ ఈస్ గ్రేస్, ఎలిగెన్స్. తెలుగులో చెప్పాలి అంటే ఐ కాంట్ గెట్ దట్ వర్డ్ రైట్ నౌ. సో దట్ వర్డ్. అందం, అందమే కదా అందం. బ్యూటీ. గ్రేస్ అంటే స్టబాన్ ఫీలింగ్స్, కరెక్ట్గా స్టెప్స్ వేయడం లాంటిది. సో లైక్ దట్. సో దిస్ పీకాక్ ఈస్ అ సింబల్ ఆఫ్ గ్రేస్ యాక్చువల్లీ, బ్యూటీ అండ్ రెసిలియన్స్. అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ by giving this kind of animals as a gift, what we can show that yes, India is doing a lot for the diversity, especially biodiversity conservation kani, how India is showcasing for environment conservation, we can show as a gesture by giving these animals. And next important point here is you have to see about basic facts regarding peacocks. How can UPSC give you a question is, consider the following statements regarding peacock, and under that it can give you where it is seen normally. So what are the characteristics, whether it is omnivores or whether it is omnivores or like herbivores. Herbivores kada, it is omnivores, right? So it will eat insects, it will eat plant related products, especially which kind of plants it will consume? Groundnuts. You know this groundnuts. Next, because it is having a sharp beak, it can easily go for burrowing and it will take out and eat this groundnuts. Next, snakes. Plants ante snakes antav. Plants. Even paddy. You know, paddy at very young stage. Have you seen the paddy initially? If you just pierce it, you will get some milk like very sweet liquid. No idea. Okay. So that will also consume on that early stage of paddy. And next one is snakes, insects. It will feed worms. Why? Because that will leads to the loss of crop, and even it will kill snakes. Snakes are farmers' friends, no? Yes, because snakes will consume rats. Okay, see here, next article, sorry, next point here you have to remember is, it is India's national bird. So can you tell me different types of peacocks that you have seen? One is white peacock, one is blue peacock. Apart from this, ఇంకే కలర్స్ ఉంటాయి? No idea. Is peacock is seen only in India? అందుకే నేషనల్ బర్డ్? Come on, think. No, it is seen in different parts. Even in Africa, in Congo region also, we can see this peacock. Okay, now let us see what is the habitat of this peacock. It is seen in warm, semi-arid to moist deciduous forest, even in grasslands, especially in agricultural landscape, we can see this. And next one here is, tell me what is the sound made by these peacocks? It will be like cat only, no? So actually I tell you my story. So before my marriage, I don't know anything about agriculture. I don't know literally like how they will grow, where they will come and everything. Only We used to go to market and we used to purchase things and we used to consume it. But after marriage, my husband is entirely agriculture family. So when I shifted to my in-laws family, morning, it was like 6:30 or 5:30. At that time, I saw this meow, 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 meow sound. And I asked my in-law, mother-in-law, that how many cats are there here? They are meow, 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 meow. Like that, I asked. She scolded me and she said, that is not cat, that is peacock. At that time, I came to know that peacock will do sound like this. So after that, okay, I realized, oh, why did I ask this question? Okay, so I came to know the sound of this peacock only after my marriage. Before marriage, I don't know anything about peacocks. And if you see the altitude here, they can be seen up to 1000 meters or occasionally 1500 meters. But recently in the month of February 2026, for the first time we sighted this peacock in Himachal Pradesh, that too at 6000 feet from the ground level. So here we can understand that there is changing of climate because of climate change. There is impact on Himalayas. Because of this, now we can see even peacocks on this very high altitude. Whenever you are writing any answer related to climate change, you can also include this example of rare sightings of peacock on this high altitude. Okay, so in this way you have to interconnect the points. Clear? And if you see the conservation status, Indian blue peacock is of least concern. And in we have green Javanese peacock, it is under endangered. And we have Congo peacock, it is under vulnerable. That means if there is any statement which is given in UPSC which says that peacock is seen only in India or peacock is endemic in India, is that statement right? No, it is seen in Java, it is seen in even Congo. Let us see the next article, read out the title. Unemployment rate increases in April, June quarter, says survey. What is unemployment? Unemployment started? No, right? Okay. So you have separate chapter on unemployment and poverty. And this unemployment and poverty chapters are important from your prelims and also from your interview point of view. So here you have to know what exactly the meaning of unemployment. The people are willing to do the work, but there is no availability of work. This concept is called as unemployment. And we have different types of unemployment like seasonal unemployment, cyclical unemployment, disguised unemployment. Okay, underemployment. Next, frictional unemployment, structural unemployment. You'll have these all terminology. I think tomorrow or day after tomorrow, sir will be starting this employment. There you will be coming across these words. And on this, UPSC will be asking you an interview question. So what do you mean by frictional unemployment? What is the meaning of structural unemployment? What is disguised unemployment? Do you think disguised unemployment is ruining our agriculture sector in our country? Like that, they will connect the topic and they will ask you the concept based question. You have to know about that from interview point of view. Unemployment chapter is very important. And next, what you have to see here, what are the reasons for unemployment in our country? And next one is, what are the measures should be taken by the government, you have to see. And next one is, what are the schemes came up by the government so far related to unemployment. Okay, so all these things you need to know, and this is very, very important topic actually. Now, why it is in use? PLFS, what is full form? Periodic Labor Force Survey. Periodic Labor Force Survey released the data. And this data is saying that there is increased unemployment rate. Earlier it was like 5% of unemployment, but now it is 5.4% of unemployment rate in our country. Can they give lot of data? I'll simplify the data here. So this article is saying that unemployment rate for the persons who are above 15 years of age in our country increased to 5.4% now. In the earlier quarter, it was like just 5%. Now there is 0.4% of increased. And who said this? PLFS, and it is one of the authentic data. Why? Because MOSPI released this. What is MOSPI? Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation released this data. And if you compare with the rural area and urban area, in rural area, unemployment rate is 4.8%. Earlier it was 4.3%. And now in urban area it is 6.7%. Earlier it was 6.6%. That means in which area we have more unemployment rate, rural or urban area? If you are comparing here, we have only 4.8, here we have 6.7. There is high unemployment rate in urban areas. Why? Because of one scheme. What is that scheme which talks about rural employment opportunity? Now we have new one, VBG Ramji. What is the full form? Viksit Bharat Gramin Ajivika Rozgar. Very good. Itesar, Atesar. Next. Cheppamma. VB is Viksit Bharat. Rozgar Ajivika Mission Gramin. Right? So that is the full form. So what is the scheme is about? Providing employment opportunities of how many days in the new scheme? 125 days in rural areas. That means in rural areas, at least we have a scheme for providing of employment opportunity. Do we have a similar kind of employment opportunity scheme in urban areas? No. That is the one major reason why there is increased unemployment rate in urban area. You have to link everything, guys. If you are interlinking means, that's it. Okay. And next, if you see the gender-wise unemployment in rural males, it is 4.8%. In rural females, 4.7%. In urban males, 6.1%. In urban females, 8.7%. That means, can we see like based on gender also there is difference, especially in urban areas? Who is more unemployed? Women are more unemployed. Here you have to see about what are the reasons why there is high rate of unemployment of women in urban areas. Here you have to connect with what? Safety, POSH Act, POCSO. Yes, all these things you have to interconnect. And next one is discrimination. And even if you want to go for this IT jobs, there is a provision of what? In IT jobs, insurance, health insurance they have to pay. Women will be getting pregnant and they have to provide 6 months of leave, and even they have to cover insurance of hospital charges, everything. So because of this, who will they take more? They'll take more boys compared to that of girls. So like that, interconnect everything is. And next point you have to remember is what can be done, what is the way forward. Now the government has to take some steps related to improving of job creation in urban areas, especially in which sectors? Non-agriculture sectors, like in construction sites, in manufacturing, in trade, in hospitality, in services. Government has to increase the jobs. So what is the scheme came up by the government recently? Production linked incentive scheme. And even we have one more scheme, that is employment linked incentive scheme, ELI scheme. Do you know this ELI scheme? Government is giving incentives for the companies for increasing of employment opportunities. And next one here is we have to go for skilling and vocational training for this people who had completed their education. And next one here is we have to reduce seasonal unemployment in rural areas. And we have to increase female labor force participation. How we can increase? We have to provide child care supports like creches, and we have to increase daycare centers and even safe workplaces, flexible work for women, like if they are not able to come to office, they have to get online working or online jobs like that. And next one is we have to go for proper monitoring of this data. Based on this data, government has to come up with a proper policy related to creation of employment. And next one is we have to address this problem of youth unemployment. Why? Because of not having skills. That means we have to upgrade our education system, and we have to collaborate with the industries, and they have to provide some certificate based courses, and after completion of that course they have to get directly the employment opportunity in that industry itself. So if you are doing that kind of changes in our education, obviously we can reduce youth unemployment problem. If you have any points, you can add, and today's question will be on this case. And see this next article, tracking nursing. A fully updated live nurses portal will be of immense benefit to the nation. So actually what we faced in 2019, COVID-19 pandemic, at that time we came to know what exactly the loopholes which are present in our healthcare sector. Till then, no one bothered about healthcare sector. But 2019 onwards, yes, we understood that there is no proper oxygen, there is no proper R&D in research, especially vaccines, there is no proper awareness of vaccines, and even lack of beds. Yes, and even lack of nurses and doctors also at that time. So because of this, at that time, government came up with a portal. And please make a note. No, the portal name is Nurses Registration and Tracking System. Write down the name of that portal, Nurses Registration and Tracking System. Nurses Registration Tracking System. It had been launched 7 years ago. By whom? Indian Nursing Council. Indian Nursing Council came up with this portal, and the name of that portal is Nurses Registration and Tracking System. And the important aim here is we need to have a registry of, that is National Registry of Nurses. National Registry of Nurses, so that we can streamline registration services on a single platform. For example, I completed my nursing, I can register with this, so that if there are any, do you know this government will be releasing some examinations, some notifications for this nursing also, especially government jobs, government hospitals, nurses, and even contract based. If any company is launching any medical camp, do you know this? Some will be launching medical camp as part of CSR, and that time also we need nurses to provide services. So for that they will be giving a contract of 3 months contract, 1 month contract, like that. So if government is providing any that kind of contracts, or government is releasing any kind of notification, if government requires nurses, they can use this portal and they can recruit the people if they are not working, yes or no? So that is the idea why our government came up with this National Registration Tracking System. But the problem here is it has been 7 years, but the number of registrations are very, very less. Not even 1/3 registrations had been done in this last 7 years. That is the data released by some people in Lok Sabha. Government, okay, so it is the data released by government in Lok Sabha now. Why in Lok Sabha now? Monsoon sessions are going on. In this monsoon session, government released this data related to the number of people who had been registered in this registry. Clear? Because of this, now it is in news. In our country, there are total around 46.02 lakh registered nursing personals. But how many of them enrolled with this portal here is just 14.24 lakhs people registered. This accounts around 1/3. That means 2/3 of people are left away of this portal now. That is a major problem which is said in this article. But why is the why? What are the reasons? The first one is normally we have different courses for nursing, BSc nursing, ANML, like that we have different courses, right? So after once the course is done, what is the duration of the course for nursing? It is like degree course, like 3 years, or we have some diploma courses in nursing also. Diploma courses will be like 2 years, and if they are going for any certificate based courses, then it will be like 6 months or 1 year based on that course. We have different wide variety of courses of nursing. After once that course is done, where they will go and where they will register? Directly state government, right? Telangana state government related nursing council, they will go and they will register. So the major problem here is in states they have their own state nursing councils, and these state nursing councils are registered, fully migrated to central portal. So in the state government data, yes, they are registering, but the state government has to what? Dump it or like migrated to the central portal. So they are not going. So central government is going as one portal and state governments are going with their own portal. So we have parallel ecosystem. There is no convergence, because what is the reason? At the central government, there is one party is in power. In state government, different parties, different political parties are in power. If the central government and state government is same as BJP, obviously they will do this kind of things easily. But if central government is BJP, if state government is Congress or BRS or TDP, like that means it will be difficult. Okay, are understanding? That is the first major problem. State governments are not willing to migrate the data to this central portal. That is a one important problem. And next one here is nurses, they have to rely on verification by their respective state council. So if they had registered in that state council only, then they will be getting one ID. So have you been to any doctor hospital? There they will be displaying registration number of that doctor. Even the prescription also, have you seen? Do you know prescription? Doctor దగ్గరికి పోతే ఒక లెటర్ ఇస్తాడు. On that they will be writing about your problem and what kind of medicine you have to take. On that prescription also the doctor name will be there and what is the degree, MBBS, MD. Yes, under that REG number, registration number will be there, right? So that number will be given by the state government actually. So if I completed MBBS here, I have to register with the Telangana state government and they will give me the register number. What is that register number? That is the serial number of mine in that area. That is the number of mine in that total state. How many doctors are there? That is the registration number. So actually here for the nurses also, if they are registering with the state government, they will be getting the number. That is nothing but national unique ID card. And even nurse passbook will be given. So here, if they are not getting this means, they will be obviously they cannot register. If you want to register in any portal, they will be asking your details. Without details, will they? Even if you want to apply for this UPSC examination also, the application process very lengthy. They will ask even hall ticket number and even certificate number of your 10th class, inter, everything. They are doing that much. And if they want to register, because it is a profession, right? Nursing is not like something, it is related to the health of the people. So they have to check twice before recruiting them for anything. So for that reason, they will be taking this ID cards, they will be taking this passbook number, everything. So if state government is not giving them, then it will be difficult for them to register. That is also one more important problem. And next one is in the states, we have lack of digital tracking. Sometimes there will be paperwork. Sometimes what happened, delayed licensing. Sometimes, you know, if you want to get your own certificate also, how many times you have to go to college and come? And how many departments you have to keep your sign? Yes or no? So here this process is very, very lengthy in many of the states. So because of this, people are not showing that much interest to register in this national portal. And what is the impacts here? There will be delay. For example, have you ever seen in the government hospitals, we can see the nurses, they are from different states like Kerala, Tamil Nadu. Have you seen that? So here, if they got job in the government, especially central government will be releasing this kind of notifications and they will allot the different states. So what happens if there is no maintaining of this kind of register? What happens? Interstate transfer will be delayed. And next one is if you want to go to another hospital or if you want to start your own private nursing clinic like that. So there is a need of NOC, no objection certificate. No objection certificate will be also getting delayed. And even there will be no verification. So normally, you know, Kerala is producing large number of nurses and these nurses will not stay in India, they will go out of. Do you know this? Many nurses, especially from Kerala, they will leave the country. If they want to get job in other countries also, they need to have the proper verification. If they had registered in this website or in this portal, it will be easy for them to get job overseas. So that is also one problem faced by most of the nurses. They are not getting even overseas employment because of this kind of not registering in this national portal. And next one is, if you see for our country, if we are not having any live registry, it will become very difficult to accurately measure how many nurses are there in our country. And if we have a registry, we can identify from which state we have more nurses and how can we recruit them and how can we move or how can we shift them from this surplus area to deficit area. And next one here is we don't have proper licenses also. If we are not having license or if you are not having the number, you know, it is very easy now to get this fake certificates, fake IDs. So this profession is not like sitting and doing the work. We have to inject medicines. They have to know the minimal knowledge, like how we have to give injection, how we have to keep cannula. Yes, do you know cannula, butterfly cannula? And normally the timing, the care, different techniques should be used. So if they are getting certificate by fraudulent means, if they are getting job means, will they do justice for their job? Entamandini champestaro, we don't know, right? So because of this, sometimes we also get this problem of fraudsters entering into this services, healthcare services. So these are the problems because of this lack of registry. And now you have to think what are the benefits of having this kind of live portal. The first one is we'll get clear-cut data of nurses. Obviously, that will improve healthcare service in our country. And it will be helpful for better manpower usage, efficient management of resources, we can have proper registration, proper renewal, everything will be going on online itself, so that there will be no time get wasted to move to the officers to do that all these things. And we can enhance the patient safety. So these are the things that are there. And there is one article, it is about Commonwealth Games. So India got how many medals? Commonwealth Games 14, 17, total gold plus silver plus copper, 39 medals we got. So there is one article about that in editorial page. So just go through that and try to make a note of what are the steps taken by the government to improve sports sector. We have one scheme. Do you heard about it? Khelo India. Like that, write down what are steps taken by the government to increase India's representation. And you have to see in that article they gave about history of Commonwealth Games, when India got first medal, which year. After that continuously we lost some, we didn't get any medal. After that again when we got medal, and present scenario, they gave entirely about this history in one para. So just see that. And next you have to see what are the steps taken by our country in this sports sector. UPSC may ask a question, and every year UPSC is asking 2 questions in prelims about the sports. This time you may get about Commonwealth Games. Okay, see that once. And see this article, guys. Russia's share in India's oil imports jumped to 48% in June. This article is talking about India's oil imports from which country? Russia, and now it is 48%. Can we interlink any article that we studied in the recent past to this? Any article? Is that good for our country or bad for our country? What US said recently? Tariff. Why tariffs? What is the background of that? Russian Sanction Act. Next. Why US came up with that? Russia supported to minimize. But why? Oil imports. That is okay. But what we discussed before that? Russia war with Ukraine. Next. Come on. Kiran, Devender, Varsha. Ankara summit, what is it? So NATO recently met in Ankara. Where is this Ankara located? Ankara place in Turkey. So in that summit, what they discussed? What are the 4 important points? So we have to support 100% for Ukraine's sovereignty and independence, right? So how they can support Ukraine? By imposing sanctions on Russia. Economically, they want to hit this Russia. So here US came up with an act. What is that act? Russian. Hey, the act name is Russia and Iran Sanctions of 2026 Act. So in that act, what it said, US, we are going to impose how much percent tariff? Percent. Very good memory. Everyone is Ghazni only in this case. Come on. Up to 100%. So here recently US came up with a legislation to impose tariff on the countries which are importing oil from which country? Oil, gas from Russia, up to 100% tariff. Right? But this article is saying that now we are importing around 48% of oil from this Russia. Is it going to impact India or not? Revise that NATO's Ankara summit. Revise about that act. I already gave you notes. And now you have to think about what is impact on India's future. Clear? Okay, and you have to suggest some measures, because if you are an IAFS officer, you have to remind the government, like this will happen, be cautious, do this, and you have to suggest some measures. Think that now you are an IAS officer and you are giving suggestions to the government. Yes? See these questions, guys. The first question is about Indian peafowl. Indian peafowl is a national bird of India. Yes or no? Only male peafowl possess characteristic long train of feathers. The Indian peafowl is endemic to India. It is listed in Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act. For sure, we are going to provide protection because it is our national bird. So, in your answer, 4 should be there for sure. And what about Indian peafowl national bird? Yes, that means 1 should be there. Now you have to see third statement. Is endemic? No, it can be seen in other areas also. So, answer is 1, 2 and 4. In this way, try to solve strategically. See this next question, it is about earthquakes. Himalayan region is highly vulnerable to earthquakes, yes or no? The Indian plate is converging with Eurasian plate. That is the reason why this Himalayas erupted. Peninsular India is completely free from earthquake activity. Not completely, because recently also I said in Hyderabad we had this earthquake, in Telangana, in other parts. Okay, next one is Kutch region has experienced significant earthquake activity. Yes, Gujarat. So answer will be 1 to 4. Okay. So in this way, try to solve. If you solve more questions, you will get that knack of solving the questions. Unless and until if you are practicing, you will not get that knack. Okay. That's all, guys. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please do hit the like button and please do share this video to your friends. And don't forget about this anthropology optional, guys. And I wish you all the best.